Fucking, I can't believe we made it.
Is this four? This is four. This is number four.
Three, two, one, four. Who knows?
Who knows? But
The we're actually, if you look at the statistics, I'm sure it's something like 90% of podcasts only last to episode 2.
I feel
So
like I should have done something more to celebrate. Like, just
Christmas, we're just yeah, fucking
I
Christmas.
don't even know. Just something.
Yeah, how are you, bro?
Very good, mate. How are you?
Kieran's fucked off. He's left the whole company. Don't want anything to do with him anymore.
Gone. Too good for us now.
Yeah, he's a fucking gallivanting around the world. The fucking
He's
not even. He's gone to
Liverpool.
Liverpool of
Yeah,
all places.
it's like another country, to be fair.
Yeah, it's another language. It's
Yeah,
another 100% another language.
40
Yeah,
minutes away, but yeah, don't
we've got to
understand
stay at
it.
that Titanic. Who stayed there?
Mega, mate. Have you
Hmm.
been?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's
Did
good.
you get the breakfast in bed thing?
No, I don't think so. I'm not as
Oh,
posh.
mega. You pay a fiver more, mate, for your breakfast in bed. It was like a win-win.
What? I'm gonna
Yeah.
go stay there on my own just for that.
It's the only time I've ever sent Caitlin to the door to enter it. When
Yeah,
you go. That's the only
fucking right.
time.
How you feeling, bro? Good.
Very, to be fair, mate, very good at the moment, obviously. As you're fully aware, training's mega at the moment. Everything, yeah, it's pretty much firing. How are you? Are you good?
Good, bro. Yeah, just busy, aren't we? So
Yes.
the announcement for it, whenever you're watching this, probably tomorrow or whenever you're fucking watching it, we are obviously going to announce that Tom is the new physique and lifestyle coach at Purpose Driven. So you've obviously seen him on different episodes before, allowing him to just share his knowledge, share his experience, and so on. First and foremost, obviously Tom is an incredible coach. He's been bodybuilding. How long have you been bodybuilding now?
She's probably now proper bodybuilding. I'd probably say around 8 years, something like that.
We
But
were
training wise, probably like 12, 13 years.
We where did we didn't meet at the first Bolton show, did we?
No, we met. I think he was at a gym before then, and then I was in the back. At that Bolton show, there was like a little courtyard, wasn't there?
Hmm.
Like that was in the. It was. I remember it was red hot that day. And I
Yeah,
think you obviously you were near enough everything there anyway, didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's our first show back after a vacation, should we say?
Yeah. After a long vacation.
Well, a Queen's holiday, should we say? So
Yeah.
yeah, that was the first show back, and but then I think the first time we properly met and trained was in lockdown, wasn't it?
It was. I remember. I think it was like. I genuinely think it must have been like the week before. You had a few clients at my gym already. It was Dom Stu and there's a few others as well. And I think I just reached out to you one day and said, if you ever want to train here, you've got a couple of clients here, feel free. And then I think just lockdown hit like the week after.
Yeah,
And then I messaged you again. I just thought you replied obviously and said, yeah, that'd be mega. And then I messaged you again saying if you're looking for a gym in lockdown, just feel free because obviously you're a professional. Feel free to use it. And yeah, then I think it was like the day after.
yeah, it was
Turned up,
yeah,
yeah.
true. I remember you
Turned
showing
up
me.
with yeah. I think you were on pole that day, and I was on. I think I was on legs, and then I think I'd done the majority of legs, and he was like, Can I put you through this set?" And I was like, "Yeah,
Oh, one of them gym wankers.
off." And
One of
then I
them gym
remember you put me
wankers.
through the set, and he was like, "Do I train legs next time?" I was like, "Yeah, all right." Nope. I'll never forget that
Yeah,
that leg session was like. I remember doing the first exercise with you, and in my mind, I'm like, I can't even do this shit. I can't
yeah.
do this. And just fight, like, fought myself more than anything.
But that was one of the greatest things because you kind of see. I always that sounds bad, but I judge somebody on the character and the mental fortitude and who they.
Yeah,
I know it sounds bad, but not who they are, but like
yeah,
how committed they are to the cause through a leg day.
yeah,
And
100%.
if they can survive that leg day, then I'm like, okay, cool, we can train.
Yeah,
And that's kind of like the what is it like baptism by fire?
yeah. Oh, I just love it. I remember like there was a time, obviously, you were getting a lot of clients through the gym, and they'd be coming on and be like, "It's my first leg session with Ryan." I'm like, "Mega."
Yeah,
I'm
I remember
just like
people.
listen, just
People travel like it was really nice that people travel like 4 or 5 hours to come and
yeah.
train.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
I wasn't doing PT, was it at the time?
No, no, no.
Like still not doing PT, but obviously my clients will come down, or our clients
Yeah,
will come down and train with us when they want.
yeah,
And yeah, I remember some of the lads would come down and they'd be doing like literally 2 sets and be like, I can't do this.
yeah. It's done.
I'm thinking you've just drove all the fucking way. You may
Yeah,
as well just go through it. But yeah, they'd stop like, well, physically just couldn't do it. But
yeah, yeah. It was
so
good though.
when you obviously you start, how did you get into bodybuilding and fitness?
With so overall, I remember as a kid in school. I remember there was a lad I grew up with across the road, and his dad was a bodybuilder. It's called Steve Burker, and he had a great physique. He never competed, but he just had a great physique. And it's going to sound shallow, but I used to stay at his house, and I used to see the girls he'd bring back. And I was about seven. I was about seven, and he'd just bring all these like,
Yeah,
yeah, and it was like, oh, like there's obviously a reason, don't know why. And
yeah,
then years after that, I remember being outside. I was at some like football day when I was like 13, and it was all the lads, and we were outside Pizza Hut in Wigan, and we'd just been playing football. And then one of the girls from school pulled up in her dad's car, and like I remember him getting out the car. And they're like, "Oh, she's called Natasha." She's like, "Oh, it's Natasha's over there." We're all like looking to wave at Natasha. Her dad got out of the car, built like just massive, and she
yeah.
like waved at us. And he must have done it on purpose, but he went to the boot of his car, and he like took off his top, a fresh t-shirt at the back, and he like turned at us all and looked. And was like, "He's I want to be like him."
Yeah, I just want to be like
Honestly, it's like literally that.
that was kind of my like experience as well. Was I
Yeah.
just wanted to be athletic, and then I remember my first night out. I was about 15 or 14, 15 with the lads,
Yeah.
and we went. One of the lads was staying living at my mum and dad's. He'd come out of the Marines and he was living there, and then he took me to Ibiza when I was like 15. And I was tiny, bro. I was dead skinny and whatever.
Yeah.
Good looking little bastard. And anyway, went out into Preston and we went into this lap dancing bar to see this guy's girlfriend. And like, obviously, at that age, you're like, stripper, like, she's fucking. And she was obviously really good. And he was just like, yeah, it's just my bird, it's just my bird, I'm shagging, bro. And I was thinking, I need to be. I literally, you'll know him. You know Lee Dwyer? You remember Lee
Lee
Dwyer?
Dwyer. Yeah,
Yeah.
he won like that. He won the Northwest under you, didn't
Like,
he?
what's mad, I prepped him, but I
Yeah,
prepped him eventually for the NABA Northwest to win it.
Northwest. And that
Yeah.
honestly, I've said to a lot of people that physique on the amateur stage was probably one of the best physiques I've ever seen.
Yeah. He was,
Like in person, he did. I remember he did it's like a Michael Jackson routine, wasn't it?
yeah,
And I'll
yeah.
never forget that.
He
He
was,
wiped with everyone.
but it was mad how it came full circle.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he introduced me on my first night out to strippers, and then I prepped him.
And then
That was
well
what it
done,
was. I
yeah.
was like, fucking hell, like I need to be like you, bro. You fucking like at the time to me it was
Yeah.
huge.
He's a big
Um,
man, Lee. He's a
yeah,
big
so
man.
I think we both did the same sort of thing then. And then so you got into the gym like that, and then how
Yeah.
did it progress on to competitive?
So it was I remember being at a gym in Bolton, and at the time there was nothing on me, like there was nothing. I was like team natty and everything. Right. So I was
Yeah,
just I think I was about 9 stone wet through. And then I remember bumping into I don't know if you know Dan Leyland, you'll know Dan. Yeah, yeah. And he actually said to me, you should compete. And it was like, and I think it was just because he wanted competitors for his show because he used to run Mr. Bolton. It was nothing to do with me. But then my mindset's going, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, mega. And then he ended up telling me to go to a gym in Horwich called Jay's. I don't know if you know
yeah,
what
yeah.
gym is,
John
yeah.
Tuplin's gym.
Remember John Tuplin, who was coached by John at Iron My Money for a long
Yeah,
time.
John Bridge, yeah.
So I remember seeing him and he did my diet and everything. I ended up doing the BMBF. Did all right in that, to be fair. And then I think I did that. And then literally the day after, I was like, I want to do the NABA Northwest in 2 years. What do I need to do? And he did everything for me, to be fair, mapped it out. And that was it, really. It was like I kind of fell into it.
Yeah, similar. Exactly. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people have the same sort of. I don't think anybody goes into training thinking I'm going to be a competitive bodybuilder.
Yeah, from day one. It just kind of like,
People just end up progressing and progressing. This
yeah,
is what I was saying to Caitlin, your missus, yesterday. The great thing about the 8 week elite physique that we run
yeah,
is that people can get phenomenal results that they've never had before, purely down to the fact that they've got all the knowledge and all the guesswork taken out of it. And
yeah.
that then sets them to go, actually, if I did this for 16 weeks,
Oh,
I
yeah,
could.
yeah, yeah,
That's where it's like that gateway in it. And I think that's what
yeah,
happens with us is you get into the gym, you train for probably 6 months doing it all fucking wrong.
yeah. Oh,
And
yeah,
then,
yeah.
or even 12 months. And then eventually someone's like, why don't you do a show? Because you put on them newbie gains and you put on that muscle and then it just escalates to the next stage, doesn't it? So
Yeah, I
you
think
did you do the
well,
NABA Northwest?
I did the NAMA Northwest 2 years after that. Got second in that. Did the Bolton the week before. Did the NAMA Northwest 2 weeks after that. Got second in that, and then that was the last time I competed up until just gone, which was under
Yeah.
your voice, obviously.
What was the reason for the big gap?
So the reason for the big gap is I did had a child. That was one reason. But
Uh,
then for a long time, I was working for a clothing company, massive now, represent. Everyone seems to know who they are now. But at the time, they were just up and coming. And at the time, I was training with a guy called Joe at JD, and I was helping him getting ready for holiday and everything like just nothing, just diet and training and things like that with him. And then he actually said to me, he sold gym equipment for a living and said, "You fancy opening a gym?" And I was like it was a dream. Like everyone has the dream, don't they? As a kid, oh, I'd love to own a gym, like it'd be mega. And then within a month of them, I remember, I'll never forget, within a month of them words, we had a gym. And it was like nuts. And then it was just a case of it was like working every hour under the sun to get this gym to where it needed to be.
so
So
is that still the same premises you've got now that I train at?
yeah, yeah. So still, we got that July 2019.
Right.
And then, but for those that had trained there before, it was Live Health Fitness, it was XFIT, it was like ruined. It was
I
a
had so you did you know that I used to have a PT studio in there?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. When I was
Tony
younger.
told me who did it, who we bought it off.
Yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah,
used to have a PT studio in there. Like I would about fucking. I always say this to everybody. I've had like 80 odd businesses just
yeah,
try shit, fail, learn, and
right,
so
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's it's mad because the way it wasn't called Power Bet then. I don't think it was.
No, it went to XFIT. It would have
Hmm.
been XFIT, wasn't it?
I think it might not. I don't think it was XFit. I think it was before that. Ah, what was it
It,
called before
it
that?
was something in there was Powerbet when it originally opened, and then it was something for a very short period of time. Then it went to XFIT, so it's probably
Yeah.
the number one.
But then so then you obviously set that gym up.
Yes.
How was that like? If you
I
people
think
looking to set a gym up,
I think well for since leaving school I was an electrical engineer, did an apprenticeship and everything like that. And then when I was actually like George Eaton to represent basically like he made me come and work for him. He was like, "You're gonna work for me." I was like, "No, I'm all right, I'm fine." He's like, "No, you're gonna work for me." I was like, All right." And they just kept offering and offering and offering. And
what did
then
you represent if you're not asking?
I managed the warehouse. So it
Right,
was
so it's like logistics.
yeah, I've gone around the edges of this, but with basically what it was, I was an engineer at the time, did a bit of camera work. George wanted some cameras on his unit, approached me in the gym, fit the cameras on his unit, wanted some cameras in his dad's house, fit the cameras in his dad's house. And they went, "I want you to manage my warehouse." Like, "I'm all right, I'm an engineer." He's like, "No, no, you're going to manage my warehouse." And then he just kept offering and offering. I was like, "Right, okay, I'll work for you. I'll manage your warehouse. That's fine." And then I've always said the only way, because as an engineer, I used to work like 9 till 3, I'd finish, go to the gym, do whatever. When I went to represent, I said that's the only way the gym actually survived was me working at represent and gaining the values because actually going from working 8, 9 hours a day, watching people like George, Mike, Steph, and James that represent, they work 24 hours. Like they actually, you can see how much more can be done if you actually just dedicate to your work. And I genuinely think if I hadn't have done the job at represent and seen what could be done, seen what's possible, and actually do them hours, I wouldn't have done the gym because getting the gym, it was like I'd get there at 6 a.m., open up, work till 10 p.m. on the day shift, looking after the customers, things like that. And then I wouldn't do any of the painting until we'd shut. So then I'd be there till 1, 2 a.m., painting, flooring, everything like that. Home, back at 6 a.m., 1, 2 a.m., painting, flooring, everything like that, home. And I did that for about 3 to 4 months.
Fucking hell.
Like literally 2 hours. The only time I'd get probably 4 to 5 hours was on the weekend where I'd work till roughly midnight, go home, back at 8 a.m., just keep
You
going.
did that for how long? 4 or 5 months?
3 to 4 months, 5 months. I remember having a week off to go and see my mum in Spain at the time. About halfway through, but that was the only time I had off
Really, in that
in
whole
like
time?
4 to 5 months. Yeah,
How did you feel like doing it? Was it fun? Was it grueling? Was it what the fuck have I done?
it was kind of like we had loan to get it. We had loans. We had everything, all the savings, everything had gone into it. So it was kind of like I've got to do it. There was no fallback plan. There was no. I could have cut ties with it and gone work back and work at represent and everything like that. But for 3 to 4 months, it was just get it done. And there was a lot of like background that went on where we were basically lied to about the number of customers it had and things like that. And for a good, I'd say the first 3 to 4 months, we didn't take a wage from it. So it was doing.
How many customers did it have when you
So we were told it had around 300. It actually had 200 that had paid £99 for the year, which was a mad offer. I'll never forget it. He'd done an offer when he knew he was going to sell it for £99 for the year.
to
And
get
then
it like it was
oh yeah, and then he had about 100 direct debit customers. So you
mate?
imagine 100 direct debit customers at 20 quid, what they were charging at the time is £2 grand a month.
Fucking hell.
The rent was 2.5.
Yeah.
So literally like selling stuff to just make the rent and bills and things. And like then we was buying paint, we was buying carpet, we were buying everything to get it done, kit, everything. Like I think it was 3 to 4 months. Then we had the open day. We bought it in July, had the open day in September, and we had to get everything done for then. Got it all done, and it was kind of in a plan where we just knew it'd take off once we'd done it all.
You just like we always say, like blind faith, like
Basically, yeah,
I've
it was
worked
yeah,
so hard that it cannot fail.
100%, yeah, it was yeah. And then September we had the open day, and literally just banged like overnight.
Did it boom straight away then?
Yeah, so I remember we got a videographer down, put it out on social media, and I remember I think I spent something like I think I put 100 quid, which at the time was the most I'd ever spent on advertising in my life. And then literally within the week, I think we'd gone from like probably 125 direct customers to about 375.
Fucking hell.
And then it was like, right, we finally done something.
Yeah, you finally, and then
A
so
long time.
from like the September time,
Yep.
obviously you probably got that the next January, and that just boomed. And then you've not really looked back then since then, have you?
No, to be fair, no, yeah, it's kind of just grown and grown and grown from there. And it's just about obviously reinvesting new kit and things like that. I think the thing that did us the most, like the best time, the most we actually did to the gym was in lockdown. So there's a lot of gyms in the area that didn't do what we did. Like I remember we put 26 machines in lockdown.
I remember that.
We
Yeah.
got the government grants, we got everything. Obviously, at the time we only had the rent to pay. Didn't take any money out of the business because you couldn't spend a penny anyway on anything bar food. So every penny that went in the gym into the business at the time, we just bought. Like I just had a big list of kit, and you'd be like, right, we can afford that, get it, can afford that, get it, can afford that, get it, can afford that. And it was just continuous. Like every month, I'd make sure there was a couple of grand as a buffer just in case. You never know. Obviously, it was lockdown, it was chaos, and then yeah, once we reached a bit, it was like get that, get that, get that, and then yeah,
Yeah,
it
because
was
that's when like obviously you was buying new. He was even asking me like buying new bits of kit.
yeah,
And I think with I would do a mad video on it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then it
Oh, it
would
was nuts.
yeah it was
Like you'd come in and you'd do like the pendulum squat, and then there'd be queues.
yeah
All the
literally
other leg kit was just looking sad, like fucking
yeah
use me. But then there'd just be queues like, and then you do like the 10-9-8 stuff on the leg extension. And the next
yeah.
minute, everyone's doing that for days. And yeah.
It was
Mad.
there was I remember at one point the energy in there was crazy, wasn't it? Like it was
Yeah, there was a time, it was about 2 years ago when it was like all the gym was competing.
yeah
And it
yeah.
was with
It
like,
was it was fun. It was everybody was in there with the same sort of mentality, and
yeah,
then I think because you was reinvesting as always, like as you
yeah,
still
yeah.
are now, like
That year was heavy. Like just nonsense. It was like machine a week at one point.
yeah. But then that get makes it fun for people because then they
Yeah, yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah.
I think what happens with a lot of gyms is like because they don't reinvest, the clientele that will, but they'll travel to other gyms to try different
Yeah, yeah.
machines. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And I think you've had it as well, where people have come down on day passes just to use the pendulum or to use the
yeah,
high.
yeah, yeah. Once they've seen it and once they've seen people using it, and that's the thing. I think now we do try and put about a machine every other month at least in something
Yeah.
new. Obviously we can't go on the thing of putting in once a week again. It got chaos. But yeah, every other month we do try and put something new in to keep everything moving. Like you said.
I remember one time you slept in the steam room, didn't you? One time was that because of COVID?
Yeah, honestly. So that's going back on a previous relationship. So when it was COVID, I'll never forget. I think it was like 7 days away from when we were supposed to reopen. And then at the time, the house I was living in, I went to work. Um, and I remember at the time, she said, my old missus at the time said, I've got a bit of a headache. I said, whatever you do, don't test. Like, this sounds correct. This sounds terrible on social media. I said, don't test. You'll be fine. Right, okay. So she ended up texting me saying, I've done a test. I've got COVID. And I can't come home. I can't come to
Were
the
you
house.
the only member of staff at the time?
Um, I think we had one lad on the weekend.
Yeah.
I
So I
remember.
mean, like from like Monday to Friday, like the reopening would have been just you. So
Oh
you
yeah.
couldn't afford to have COVID.
Oh no, we go like at the time because I'd spent so much money on kit and everything. I remember being at the gym and thinking, if I go home, it was so all the track and trace was going nuts and everything. They were checking everyone in. If I went home, I'd literally be housebound and would be the only gym on the day we reopened to not reopen.
Yeah. So what happened? One.
So I ended up sleeping. I remember the warmest. Honestly, it's nuts. And the steam room in our is literally in the center of the building, near enough. I remember thinking it's airtight. It's got to be the warmest room. And to be fair, it was though. It was fucking so hot. I'll never forget. But I ended up going. What did I do? I end up going. I can't remember where I got it from, but I bought like 3 or 4 duvets just put on the bottom, and then duvet on top. It was it
How
was
long did you sleep in there for then?
till we reopened.
7 days.
For 7 days straight. Yeah, in the steam room.
Okay. I love it.
It was nuts, but honestly, and I remember like I had my PlayStation there for when because obviously all we were doing was working all day, getting everything done, painting and everything. I could have like 2 hours downtime a day where I'd have my PlayStation there, everything. It was nuts.
Yeah, but that's the sort of stuff that is the reason that you are successful now.
Yeah,
Because when these things crop up, like I always say, this whole thing I was saying to Kieran yesterday, like we fail our way to success, and then these things will come up, and people will quit, and it's the ones that
100%.
don't quit or the ones that carry on going, even like again blind faith.
Yeah,
When
100%.
I have a view on it where I'm like, it's sent to test me whether I really fucking want it or not.
Yeah,
So like there's going to be tests, and it's like you need to get to this next stage of like development or whatever it is, or business or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But the test is sent to you because you're like, well, are you worthy of it yet? Do you really fucking want it? If you
Yep,
don't, you're gonna quit. So that's the
100%.
test. But if you do and you go through that, you'll
Yep,
get to that next stage and the next stage. And I think
agreed.
that it's like anything within prep. There's certain sessions, there's certain
Yep,
things in life, everything that's sent to test you,
yep,
and it's like, did I earn it or not? Am I?
100%. Yeah,
That's just my viewpoint on it.
yeah,
But
no, I agree.
I
I
think
agree to be fair.
anyone I look at, anyone else I look at who's done anything, or when I watch other podcasts and things,
Yeah,
they've always got that make or break moments like that, and they don't stop. They fucking keep coming, but
yeah,
they always have them, and they always seem to get over them, or like they never allow it. Like I was watching something the other day, and this guy he went bankrupt. It's called Alec Holmos. You've probably seen him on fucking
oh
TV.
yeah, mentioned it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
He's
seen.
he went he lost the guy robbed him of like over like 6 million or something stupid like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And then basically he was like, fuck. And he like couldn't get a line of credit, couldn't get anything. And he was like, right, I'm just gonna do this. And then he got to about 100 grand. And he
yeah,
had 100 grand. And then he couldn't access it. They fucking stopped it. So he's gone from 6 million to having no money to in a month earning 100 grand and getting himself back on his feet to then get his money stopped. And it's like at that point, someone would be like, just get a fucking job, bro.
oh,
It's
100%.
and
100%.
now he's worth hundreds and hundreds of
Yeah,
millions.
it's daft, then Alex.
But I
Yeah.
think them things are then allowed to send to him because that's the reason he is at where he is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because he's that mental fortitude to keep going.
I think like looking back again, like I have mentioned George a few times now, but I remember being at Represent and I'll never forget. He just did it. He'd sleep in stints on the couch in the office. That'd be it. He wouldn't go home. He'd be like, and I remember speaking to him one night when I'd probably had a drink back then, like way back then. And I remember speaking to him like, why don't you just go home and go to bed? And he said the words, I'll miss it. If I go to bed, I'll miss it. And he's like, I don't know what it is, but I'll miss it. And I'm like, right, okay. And I'll never forget the day he got an email off Selfridges and he got us all in the boardroom one morning. He's like, look at this. And he put it up and he must have said the phrase to a few people. Email comes from Selfridges and above it in red letters, I didn't miss it.
See
And it was
that?
like bang. And it was
On
it was like, right, I get it. And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, right, well, I can go home now. I could get in my note, where I sleep and I'll be fine. And this gym might not open, this, that, and the other. And then I remember thinking about like, George slept on the fucking couch, right? Like getting the steam room, stopping in the bell end. Just
That comes back to as well, like the people you surround yourself with.
yes, yeah,
A massive thing because they set the benchmark. We was what we were talking about yesterday, where Steve came down train legs,
yeah,
and it reset the benchmark for him thinking
yeah, 100%, yeah,
and now he thinks he's not.
yeah,
And now he needs to train harder because he's obviously not training at that level.
100%.
Which he trains fucking like an animal anyway. But again, there's always another level.
Just
And I
resets everything, yeah,
when I'm building a team now, with you, Kieran, and the sales staff and the
yeah, yeah,
managers and so on,
yeah,
I'm looking for people. Honestly, I'm looking for people who are better than me at things. Like for yourself, like you're so much more efficient than I am at things. Do you know, you execute things so quickly, and
yeah,
that's probably from your careers and things that you've
yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah, possibly, yeah,
That's great because it's like, well, so you hold me to a higher standard. Like in
okay,
context truth, like I'd probably miss this podcast tonight because it's Saturday and it's like, and I'm like, but you'll hold me to that standard because you're like, well, I'll do it. I'm like,
yeah,
all
yeah,
right, cool. So like when we're building a team, like you say with George, it resets
Oh
what
yeah, yeah,
capabilities
100%.
are, the standards, and
Yeah,
that's a culture and a community that I want to build throughout the whole online coaching and the whole team, where
agree.
it's like we set the standard. Well, like I always say, lead from the front.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, yeah,
And the things like that, like yourself, when you prep and you compete and you fucking absolutely peeled, you're running a fucking business. You've got a family. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're setting up other businesses and like other prospects and still prepping.
yes,
So anyone who comes to you and says, "I've got a job and I'm busy and I can't diet," well, I do it, and
yeah, yeah.
that's where I think we're able to empathize, but also set the standard for people.
Yeah, I
To
mean, I've had it in the past where people are like, "Oh, I'd love to do it, but I've got kids," and I'm like, "Yeah, I've got a daughter. She's 5," and
yeah.
they're like, "Oh, you still might?" Yeah, 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 yeah. Like, yeah, like,
And
it's
the
just,
same with the gym, it's like, oh yeah, I still run this gym and I
yeah,
still put property portfolio and I still do that. And it's like there is no real excuse because you break that excuse down because it's like, well, I do it.
yeah, yeah.
And again, we've done it in the past as well. Like I've worked shit jobs and do you know what I
Oh,
mean? And
yeah,
so on.
yeah.
It's like I still did it. I had no money, I still did it. If you want it, you'll find a way. I
100%.
think that's what I think having the team now as we progress through, it's like that's everybody brings or keeps ourselves to like a higher standard. No one slips, which is great. So you obviously got the gym, and that's why. So you had like a long stint then, which is obviously because you just focused on business, and
Yes.
then you coaching at the same time, like PT and coaching.
No, so at the time I was doing well. The coaching originally started when I was at before I present, like I mentioned, there's a guy called Joe who helped out with his. I got him in good shape, to be fair, and then went over to represent, and then there was 4 or 5 lads I got ready for an holiday there. Just mates, just like, yeah, I'll do that, sweet. And we all used to train together at the same gym, all the rep lads and everything. And then the coaching, as I got the gym, helped a couple lads out there, but I kind of just didn't really. I just focused on the gym. It was just like I just put all my energy into the gym, but giving the odd diet out here and there. And then realistically, it was when um I got with Caitlin.
Hmm.
She really pushed me and she was like, "You're really good at it, just do it." And we did. I did before me and Caitlin got together. I did the challenges and stuff with that, got some really good results. And she's the one who really, at the back end of last year, was like, "Well, it's okay, it's over 12 months now." I was like, "No, no, just give it a go, just do it." And I always had this thing in my mind, like I've got PTs, I don't really want to step on their toes, but then it's like without sounding weird, I was getting better results just with the outreach. I just seem to know more, and the results were coming really easily from the challenges. And I just thought I can do it better,
Yeah.
like than a lot of the people at who at the time were working in my gym.
Yeah.
And so that like we say, 12 months ago it launched, and then yeah, it just seemed to have built and built and built and built a little. Well, it was a little at the time, but it's all right now. A decent sized client base, to be fair.
Yeah, you've
Um,
done really well with them. You like
and churning out quite very good results, to be fair. I'm quite very happy with how it's going at the moment.
this is what we was having the conversation about yesterday with the level of results that you're getting.
Yeah,
But as well, what I find is amazing is you're getting a level of results with people that aren't your quote unquote bog standard people who are just
yes,
looking to compete.
yeah,
It I find and for myself, I find it a lot easier to take yourself
yeah,
who knows how to train, knows competed before,
yeah,
already got his diet on lock, preps all year round. He's got his routine in place. He's got his job in place. For me, my job's a piece of piss.
yes,
It's taking someone who drinks every night, doesn't
yeah,
really trains once or twice a week, fucking eats a takeaway 3 or 4 times a week,
yeah,
changing that person's mental state, confidence, training ability,
yeah.
routine within 8 weeks and well, even like 10 weeks or 12, like and getting the results you get, that is the difference, I think.
That's like I'm a main thing. Like we did the promo vid not long ago. I'm a massive believer in just helping someone get confident. Whether that's like I've had one of my clients in the past, Ryan. He was so unconfident, just about taking his top off. Like he was out of shape and things like that. And then I'll never forget. He sent me a picture, and when he'd always said he'll never take his top off. I'll never do it. I'll never do it. And he sent me a picture on the beach with no top on.
Yes.
That for me, I was just like, I've won. I don't have to do anything probably for the rest of my life, and I'd be happy.
That's the thing as well, it's the impact that you're having
Yeah,
is
yeah,
is huge. Like and
yeah,
that's the that with even with the 8 week elite physique stuff,
yeah,
it's like being able to help. and I always say it, as many people as we possibly can,
100%. Yeah.
not just to be like, look at me and it's vanity,
Yeah.
because it's like these people, poor health, poor routine, poor mindset, low confidence, to get them to go to being like, I can fucking do whatever I want, like in a sense of like not arrogant way, but just I'm capable of more, and then having them that belief in them, that confidence to then push on, and then people see it, and then the next person does it, and the next person does it. It's bigger than just a diet, isn't it?
100%. I mean, and that's one of the main. When you asked me to come on board with yourself, obviously I was over the moon. But one of the main reasons is because our values are so similar. Where it's as soon as you said it, I was like, I can help more people. I can literally just the obviously you've got your audience, you've got the following and things like that, which is going to bring more clients to me. But it's not about anything financial at all. It's just I can help more, I can help more, and especially with like another client of mine called Neil. He was, I'd say, borderline alcoholic to the point where he's drinking every night in this. And he asked me, he said, "Can I work with you?" I said, "Yeah, but I want something back." He's like, "What?" I said, knock the drinking on the head." And he's like, "Oh no, no, I can't do it, I can't do it." And then a couple of weeks later, "Can I work?" "Yeah, yeah, you can, but you need to give me a week without drinking." "No, no, I can't do it." A week later, come and see me. "Right, okay, I'll give you a week." And he give me a week. He's like, "I've done so well. Oh, I've done so well." And he literally stopped drinking. Like
Yeah,
from
I've seen it, yeah.
there, and he lost. I think he lost the best part of like 30 pound or something. Like his core he looks absolutely class. But the
Looks
main thing
phenomenal,
with that
doesn't it?
again, yeah, the main thing with that again is his confidence. Like
Yeah.
he's another human now. It's just mega.
And that is down to, again, it's life changing. It is
Yeah, yeah,
literally life changing. And he will then push on to be even better. And then I feel like that spreads because his friend who would drink with him sees it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then helps him.
100%.
Just again, it was what we talked about with George. It's like your standards change because of his standards.
Yes,
Now
100.
his friends' standards may change because he's held him to a higher standard. And it's just a knock-on effect. And that's what the greatest thing is about the coaching now for us is Kieran's got his mental business, you've got a gym. It's nothing to do with financial.
Not
It's
one
to
thing.
do with helping as many people as we possibly can from
100%.
all walks of life. And
Yes,
that's where, again, we all have our forte in what we do and what we're good at and the clientele and niche that we work with. But like for yourself, it's like now going through that coaching process with more and more people, the more people you can help, the better because even you develop as a coach.
100%. Yeah, and like I say, I've got like even since I started this, it's like just getting better and better and almost instantly knowing what path to take when certain things happen. And it's just just makes it day to day is just enjoyable now, just helping as many people realistically.
So going back to so you got a gym and then you was it like you was at a period of time now where everything was settled. So this year you obviously competed again.
Yeah, and I put that down to again my current missus Caitlin. Sacred, that sounds awful. Like I'm gonna get another one. I'm not. I'm very happy. But she actually said to me one day, she was like, she's sat here now. She's getting ready. But she said to me, I really want to see you compete.
Hmm.
We used to have a joke a long time before we got together because we were really good friends about she'd wear a foam finger that said Big Little Britain and everything and stuff. And it was just like this time around, she was like, I just really want to see you compete. I was like, all right, let's do it then. And then obviously prep myself for I think the first 8 weeks of it. And then fortunately I thought you were in the gym one day and said I'll take it over. And then
Yeah. Like and you absolutely smashed that prep as well. Like I think it really, from what I can see from an outside perspective, it really relit the fire for like bodybuilding for you.
yeah, 100%. And now like the whole thing was like obviously so Caitlin could see me do it. She really wanted to, and that day was incredible. Like it was so good to see her in the audience, and because we talked about it for so long,
Mm.
and then but now it's like right, I want to go. I want to go again.
How did you find the prep?
It sounds awful, because I always see to people like how hard prep can be, but this time around it was a doddle. Yeah, it was, and then it was so easy for the first 8 weeks, but I was sort of restrictive on everything with calories and things like that. And then you could like I remember you saying, I'll take it over. I need you to do me a favor. And I was like, fuck, he's gonna do this, he's gonna put cardio, he's gonna do this. I want you to have a Five Guys, and I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
I remember that.
And I
Yeah.
remember
Oh,
ringing my missus going like, gotta go for a Five Guys tonight. Like, yeah.
I
And then
think
it
that's
was
one of
like,
the things when you're prepping yourself, and I'm the same because we are
yeah,
100% in. We think we can, and again, it shows with the gym and shows with like where you've come
yeah,
from obviously working a normal regular job to now where you're at,
Yeah.
like it's just 100% effort and work harder, work harder. But
100%.
sometimes from an outside perspective, it's like you can pull it back and get better results by just pulling back.
Like,
You
yeah,
know,
I
taking
reduce
that
it.
emotion out of it, innit?
Yeah, I think
That's
yeah, that's that was the. I mean, and obviously then we had the last. I think we had 6 weeks before the first show, and then there was 4 weeks in between shows as well.
mm.
And then yeah, we went up to Hull, and then that was the last one.
I think that was another thing for me as well. You going through the process and seeing how I coach, you
Yes.
know, like through like what the standard or is expected.
Oh, I've always yeah, especially when I remember you did the obviously at the time in the prep, it was all done through WhatsApp, and then you was like, right, I'll take over your off season, but you're gonna start fresh as a client. And I remember receiving the onboarding call and being like, wow. And as a coach myself, I was like, this is another league of like information, um, even description on everything we're going to do. Every single player was like, right, here's your training program, but we're going to do this. We've set this out this way. We're doing this. The reason we're doing this is because of this. The reason we're training back twice is to bring it up. The reason we're doing legs twice is to bring it up. Like you, just every single point, and then supplementation. Right. The reason you're taking this much of this is because of this. You're gonna have it this time. You're gonna do this, and everything's just like bang, 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 bang. Like it's another league of like again what's possible with coaching. To be fair,
Mm.
that just like because I've had coaches in the past, and it's like the check-ins like
Yeah,
cheers,
yeah.
and you're like, what do we do? Oh, and then it like
I think at the time as well, though, that for us, that's all we knew. So like that's all we expected was like, yeah, well done, keep going. And
yeah,
then when you actually delve into it, as for me as a client to other people, and what do I need? And
yeah,
then when I ask over like on our check-in form is obviously like, what do you
yeah,
what how do you need, or what how can we improve the service? It's like we're working in a service-based industry,
yeah,
and I always look at it like I want to over deliver.
yeah,
So for me, like if I go to a restaurant and they over deliver, or you fly on Emirates and they over deliver, so
yes,
then you feel like it's more value for your money,
hundred
and that
percent.
and then the second thing is like that's going to keep the client happy. It's going to keep client retention, but it's also going to give them like we're reinvested in them. Same with the gym that you had.
Yeah,
They're paying money, then we're going to reinvest it into a machine.
yeah,
Clients are still paying the same money, but I'm offering better
yeah,
service,
yeah,
better. And it's just an ongoing progression in it with it. And that's why I think you seeing it from a client's perspective
yeah,
now makes it so good for you, because then you're like, well, okay, well, I know exactly what the standard is.
100%. Yeah, and like I
That,
say,
that,
I started implementing it with my clients now, and they're like blown away, like wow, like even so, like when you send over the Zoom check-in, it's like they're like just me in the corner, like yeah, and then
yeah,
through everything, it just makes for the client as well, being on both ends of it, just the clarity is like inside. You know why you're doing something, you know when it's happening, you know every aspect of what's the change is coming. You know why it just yeah, it's massive.
I always try to explain to people like if you write something in text, it can be interpreted any way
Hundred
that you
percent.
want. So
Yes.
being able to put emotion across in a Loom video and actually speaking to someone,
Yeah.
nothing to do with being fancy and being a Loom video. It's
No.
allowing me to go, bro, you look fucking sick, and
Yeah.
you can get the energy from that. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you can, the client and can feel it. Whereas like you look great, bro. You don't. It seems flat. It seems like, or you could say, oh mate, what the fuck are you doing? Like there's so different ways that you can take text. So
Yeah.
then allowing to have emotion in there with the Loom video, and then being able to, I always say it's great knowing the science, which obviously we provide that with the
Yeah.
documents,
Yeah.
but then being able to explain it in layman terms that people are going to understand
Yes.
is, and if you can, so you have to really know something to be able to teach it.
Yeah. Agreed.
And that's where writing it out, someone could, they're not going to get it because they just read it and think, I don't understand that. Or some people might. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So giving them
Yeah.
both options of this is how, obviously, audio, speaking it and
Yeah.
explaining it, and then this is it written. I just think for the client, it just makes it so much better.
100%. It's like I say, it's just clarity because like we've mentioned it before, and the worst phrase like we've seen as coaches as well, or as clients, sorry, is because it works.
Yeah.
Like you get a like I've had it before with a coach previously, and it's like why are we doing that? Because it works. But there's no, it doesn't clear anything up in your mind. The more an individual can understand why they're doing it and what for and how and why, just everything about it, the more beneficial it's going to be. It just helps, like, just clears all uncertainty.
I found like it's just reassuring, and
Yes.
I can make an informed decision on whether I'm going to implement it. Because
Yep.
at the end of the day, it's only hypothetical suggestions what we're giving someone. It's like,
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
I would do this, and
Yeah.
this is the reason, because they can then go, I'm not happy doing that.
No. Yeah. Agreed.
But if they say to them, because it works, well, yeah, I know it works, but why does it work, and what's the implications, what's the negatives, what's the positives, and then they can make an informed decision on it. It's
Yeah.
not. I think when people say because it works, it's because they don't know how it works.
100%
They
agree.
know to do it. Do you know
You
what I
know,
mean?
they've just been told
Yeah,
that thing, like, do this at this time, okay. Like, but there's no. It's as if you want them to say, "Okay, because John told me." Like, that's
yeah, yeah,
why.
yeah,
Yeah, that's it. Or because Dave said it in the pub.
yeah.
So,
Because we've always done it that way.
yeah, because that's what
But,
it is. Yeah.
yeah, and that's the thing. But I think now, obviously, for you with your off season,
Yes.
it's very good as well going through. So, like, just so obviously people don't know, we're just seeing. So you're now obviously planning on competing when you compete next.
2025, the back end of 20. So we're looking September 2025.
Why are you having such a long period off?
Because we did, I remember, first of all, we did the PCA Birmingham, chose the wrong class, which was, I don't even know what I did. Yeah, we went novice, but I've always been a short bodybuilder. I'm 5'6", 6 foot if anyone asks, and they
Yeah,
never.
yeah. He's
But
5'4", like.
yeah, and I've always done the short bodybuilding class, and I remember I had the option this time, and for some reason I picked novice, and then turned up, and obviously you were there. They were like 6 foot odd, and they just stand out. There's like 4 or 5. Well, there was 4 of them, I think, who were 6 foot plus.
And the thing with that as well, if anyone's listening about picking a class, it goes from the run of the class. So if they're all tall bodybuilders and they're all good, they're gonna get a look in. I don't. It doesn't. It's so hard for a judge to be like, well, actually, that guy's 6 foot and he's second. That guy's first. He's 4 foot. You know what I mean? It's like there's two. So it goes with the run of the class, and that with I always find it weird with the novice because you can't. How can you? It's very difficult to judge a 6 foot guy against, and that's the reason they have fucking high classes.
Yeah, agreed.
You know what I mean? Because it looks so odd because that guy's so wide, big, and so on. It's
Yeah.
pretty much impossible for someone who's small, depending even don't care how good you are. If that guy's in condition, you're probably going to get beat because he's just so big. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
agreed. And if they flipped it though, and there was like 4 people at my height, he'd have probably got last.
Yeah, because the run of the
But
class. So we did that, and then we went into short bodybuilding.
the whole, which I think was 2 weeks after the Birmingham, I'm pretty sure it was. And I'm around £30 off where I need to be competitive in short bodybuilding. So hence why.
I think it's more the overall physique that you've got is very balanced, but that the time between obviously competing and competing again, it's so hard to run business. You know what I mean? So now having this solid year of like, right, I'm gonna, or pretty much 2 year really now, just over 2 year, it's about 18 months, isn't it? Of piling on muscle mass, but perfectly. It's gonna just lead you into a place where you're gonna gonna be very dangerous because everything's there. It just
need
needs to be denser.
Yeah, that's it.
The condition was 100%.
Yeah.
And that's why as well, I always say to people, and I think I posted about it today actually, or might have posted about it today, like the team that we have all again set the standard. We all absolutely nail it because you can't control how much muscle mass you've got at that point, but you can control what condition you're in.
Well,
so that's if you, as long as you're 100% condition, which you were, it's a win.
Yeah.
And then it's go back to the drawing board, work on it, add more muscle, and then come back with an even better condition because the more muscle mass we've got, the better condition we can get in. It's going to be exciting as well because I feel, well, you might tell me different. You're learning new processes as we're going through this as well, aren't you?
100%. With being like we said before, with being a client for you already, I've obviously learned a hell of a lot already. But week by week. I mean, obviously we train together every day, and even through the session, I'm constantly learning off you as well. And then just general information. I'm doing a lot of research on near enough everything now. But yeah, it's fun. I'm just really enjoying it at the moment, to be fair.
Yeah, mate, it's exciting for 2024, isn't it?
Yeah,
like we've got the next 8 week elite physique will be phenomenal because again, it's exactly what we want to be able to do is help as many people really help as many people realize their own potential.
Yeah.
once they can realize their own potential, they then know. Oh, well, same as we did when we was kids and we trained for fucking 12 months, as we
Yeah.
said at the start. Like we then thought, fucking hell, I might be able to do this. And once you've done your first bodybuilding comp, you're like, oh, actually, I'm fucking. And once they've dieted and actually been strict for 8 weeks and seen the results they can get in them 8 weeks, it blows their mind because they think that's going to be a 12-month thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's nuts what people like you posted the other day, the 8 week guy you did the other day. And that was nuts. That was like, but it is possible. Like I've had 3 or 4 similar, and it's like, and then you get people like, oh, well, how's he managed it and I can't? It's like, well, because he did. Like
Yeah,
because
because
he
it
did
comes back.
everything, he did the work. Like if you generally do the work, it'll happen.
Yeah, that's
All achievable.
the magic you're looking for is the work you're not doing, the work that you're not doing.
100%. Yeah.
So it's like you if you're doing the work, and this is what I always say to people, like keep being accountable, having that support, and knowing. I always say on a consult call, like everything that you do is all the guesswork's taken out of it. There's no
100%.
guesswork. 100% results guaranteed if you do the work. All you have to do is execute it. So yeah, that's very exciting. Obviously we've got Christmas coming up. But I'm honestly, bro, like I think we speak about this all the time, but so excited to get you involved because obviously the potential. I think the only limiting factor for yourself was because you've got the gym,
Yeah.
you've got a lot of work on with that. It's just about getting in front of as many people as possible, which
Yeah.
is obviously what happens with luckily for my business,
Yes.
is what happens. So it just allows us then to come together and you get great results. I help you even more with education, help me with fucking execution, and it just works so well in that sense, doesn't it?
It's building a very good team, isn't it, at the moment? And like I say, it's just going to be very exciting. 2024, especially the 8 week for elite physique, will just that's when I think it'll really take off. And yeah, more and more people on board, more and more people we can help, more and more people we can change lives. To be fair, and that's realistically the only reason we do it.
Yeah, that's the impact in it.
Yeah,
So
100%.
100%. So for example, you've got Christmas coming up, and then well, I think it's Christmas. It's like I don't even know what day it is.
2 sleeps you got, mate.
2 sleeps till he comes,
Santa comes in,
empties his sack.
empties his sack all over the couch.
I fucking hope no guy comes into my house and empties his sack all on my couch. That'd be a story. That'd be even a fucking weird story for me.
Got a
That
big sack, honey. I bet.
better be a fucking better bring me a present if he's going to do that. That's what. But
Sack,
but yeah, I think as I say, this podcast has been great because it allows people to get to know you. Like to be honest, some of the stuff there that you told me I didn't even know. Like, so it's good to obviously get to know who you are, and show people that like we are building a team of values and team of people who are fucking very, very good in their field and just constantly getting better.
Yeah.
100%. Right, well, I am gonna probably go for a sleep. That leg session yesterday fucked me, bro.
Yeah, as soon as Tomo said, like, Tomo turned up and he's like, yeah, I've never trained legs. I was like, this leg day's changed now.
I know. I was like, oh
Walking
shit.
in, honestly, we walked in, you're like, it's going to get spicy, this. And I was like, oh, no.
What, just straight sets, and I was like, I can't just
Nah.
come and train and then go off and not be sick.
You can't walk home.
But he was lucky though because I didn't, out of being because he's one of my best pals, I didn't film him being sick. But normally I would have put him on the story, but I don't out like that. But what are you doing tonight? Are you just chilling?
Travis Centre, get some last minute shopping done.
Oh shit, yeah, that'll be busy.
And then, yeah, it'd be chaos, won't it? And then, to be fair, yeah, probably just come back. Have some more time. Oh,
yeah. Is your oh yeah. No, we were spending Christmas with your family.
Yeah, so we'll be at my mum's on Boxing Day. We're going over to Caitlin's family on Christmas Day.
Oh, wicked.
My mother's Boxing Day. And then New Year's are actually in York this time. So
you going to York?
Yeah, different. We try and do. I always say wherever I live, I won't spend New Year's there.
Yeah, mate. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Amsterdam. Fuck it.
Get it done. What are you doing for Christmas? Anything?
Nothing, bro. I'm actually enjoying the fact that I don't have to do anything. I know that sounds weird, but normally I'm rushing around like a fucking idiot, buying fucking ridiculous stuff, and it's actually nice just to.
It's just for you though, lad. Have you had a break?
Yeah, that's just my own stuff. Like, oh, one for me, one for you, one for me, two for me. Yeah. So no, I'm just chilling, mate. Just seeing family and that. It's nice sometimes. Like I'm using the time to just reset because I know we're going to be so busy. I'm like, there's going to be 1 or 2 days. I've already texted clients just saying have a good Christmas. So on Christmas Day, I don't have to go on my phone. I can just one day not wake up and be straight on my laptop, which will be amazing. So, right, bro. Thank you for that, mate. Absolutely amazing as always. I will see you tomorrow. Nice one, bro. Have a good night, mate.
You too, mate.
See you, bud.